yesterday, April 9th, 2011 was opening day, turkey season. I was fortunate to harvest a nice turkey, trophy turkey. Really had spurs, 1 3/4 inch long, 11-inch beard. But I videotaped it, or DVD'd it, and once it's edited, hope to get it on there. But I've been inspired by other preppers on TV, on YouTube, Yankee Prepper, Demcad, Homesteader, and I had 15 minutes left on this DVD, and I didn't want to waste it. So I wanted to talk about a prepping failure that I ran across yesterday during my hunt. An item that I had in my pack, and when it came time to use it, it didn't work. It's a failure. I basically have one hunting pack, primarily a deer hunter, and over the years I've become pretty proficient at field dressing, skinning, and quartering a deer, to the point where I don't need to wear any gloves. I don't get much blood on me. But a turkey is another matter entirely. They're smaller, and to preserve the breast meat, when you go to remove the innards, you really have to get up inside the cavity of the turkey. And around here, my wife and I use the little rubber gloves, when we're cleaning the bathroom, kitchens, whatnot. And 2 years ago, I took 4 pair of those rubber gloves, put them inside a little zip-up pouch that used to be a first aid kit. Neat little pouch, so I just stuck the gloves in there. Well, yesterday evening when I got back here home, I laid the turkey out in the garage and pulled some of the feathers off of it. And before I opened up the cavity, I pulled the gloves out of my pack, and they had discolored. We're talking about 24 months. They went from a beige to a yellow, which is surprising, because it hadn't been out in the sunlight. They'd been in a zippered pouch, had been out of the weather, and they were all stuck together. When I tried to put my hand in there, they just ripped all the pieces. And all 4 pair were like that. And they were really cheap, low quality rubber glove, real thin. Came in a box like tissue. You just pulled them out to dispense them. And I try to be frugal with my prepping. I want a good value at a good price. But here's another example that you can't skip on the quality. So next time I will be buying the heavier gloves. When I first started out deer hunting, I brought a field dressing kit with the gloves that came up on the forearms. They were real thick, and man, those things lasted. I probably cleaned 4 or 5 deer with those gloves, and I ended up nicking them with a knife. Other than that, they lasted. So I won't be buying any of those thin gloves unless some of my fellow YouTubers know of any way to preserve those gloves. I may have not stored them right. I don't know, maybe I could have rubbed something on there, some type of Vaseline or something to protect them. But I thought it was amazing that away from sunlight and really the elements and being inside my pack, that they would turn color, stick together like that, and just rip apart. So that's just another thing. You need to get out in the field and use some equipment. And I've had other things in the past, tools and stuff, knives that failed me in the field. But it's good to know that now before you really need it in a life or death situation. But like I said, I've been inspired by other preppers on YouTube, and as I get more comfortable with being in front of the camera and doing these type of things, I like to share what little I know and what I've learned, and ask questions. It's a good way, I feel, to get responses, and I can learn some things. I learned quite a bit. I got into prepping from my outdoor activities. I'm an outdoorsman. I like to hunt, fish, hike, camp, and growing up on a farm, watching my grandparents. My grandfather didn't waste anything. He provided everything for the family. When my grandmother went to the grocery store, she would get like 150 pounds of sugar, 200 pounds of flour, stuff like that. Everything else my grandfather raised, from livestock to vegetables into what we brought in hunting. And he was a backer farmer, and I always had a pocket full of money. So I say that my grandfather, even though he didn't have a high school education, he was one of the best economists in my day because he didn't waste anything. So I hope you enjoyed this. For those of you that see this, if you know a way to preserve the cheap little rubber gloves, let me know. Hit me up. If not, I guess I'll be spending a little bit of money for the good ones because they come in handy. Thank you.